It's audition season. All of you high school seniors looking to major in music, you're probably stressing about your upcoming auditions, or maybe you did them early and you're just waiting to hear if you got in or if you got cut. Whatever the case, I figured this would be an appropriate time to talk about my college auditions, because the experiences were a little bit weird. There was some unexpected things that happened. So let's go back to the beginning of my senior year, Washington Township High School class of 2007. What's up? So I had to meet with my guidance counselor to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life, and I figured that I should do music because I was good at that. And I figured I should major in music education because, I don't know, I just thought I should. I mean, I had no teaching experience, like no 17-year-old really does, but, well, I decided that music education was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So the first step was picking what schools I wanted to apply for. The guidance counselor told me to go home and make a list up, and that's what I did. My first choice was Rowan University because, well, that's where I was taking lessons at the time. I guess my second choice was Rutgers University. A bunch of my friends were applying there, so I guess that's why I liked it. There was a few other schools that I liked their marching bands a lot that I wanted to apply to, and I just chose a few other random schools that were kind of in the area. So I brought this big list of like 9 schools back to the guidance counselor, and she said that was too many. It was too many schools to apply for. I mean, there are like 4,000 schools in the United States, so I guess my list of 9 really wasn't that many in the grand scheme of things. But there was the application fee for each of the schools and the cost to get to the schools I was auditioning at, and also the auditions, it was like different, like there were some slight differences for each school, so it's just compounding the amount of things I needed to prepare. So I narrowed it down to 4 schools. We had Westchester University, William Paterson University, Rutgers University, and Rowan University. So most of these schools asked for the same things to prepare for. For percussion auditions, you had to do a concert snare drum solo, 4-mallet marimba solo, a timpani solo. You had to know all of your major and minor scales and all of your rudiments. But I remember Rutgers, they actually asked for the most stuff. In addition to all that, they asked for a 2-mallet marimba solo, and instead of 2-octave major scales, they asked for 3 octaves. I'm not exactly sure why, but they did. But as for the solos I was doing, I played Yellow After the Rain, a classic there. We had a Tambourin Chinois for the 2-mallet marimba solo. I did a couple of solos from the Cerrone book, Portraits in Rhythm, and I also played modulations for timpani. It's kind of a lot of stuff, but I've been working on all of that for like 6 months, so I was prepared out the butthole by the time we got to the auditions. So the first audition was at Westchester with Dr. Chris Hanning. And now I was expecting to go there and have like a bunch of other people auditioning with me, but I was literally the only person like in the whole building. I thought I got like the dates wrong or something, but well, nope, they were expecting me. So I guess I was just the only person that wanted to go that day, and they took me in and I totally crushed the audition, played everything really, really well. Now my only other experience auditioning like for anything music related was for like honors bands. Like you go into the audition room and the judges, they're all facing away from you, and you're supposed to be like super quiet and not talk at all because they want it to be anonymous, right? The judges, if they hear you speak, then they might know who you are. So yeah, that was my audition experience up until this point, and this was just totally different auditioning for music school. Because after I played each part of the solo, yeah, Chris came and like worked with me, like, you know, did like a mini lesson and give me some feedback about everything I played, which is pretty refreshing and kind of nice. And this makes sense, right? Because the professor, they're going to be dealing with you for at least 4 years. You know, they want to make sure like you take feedback well and are teachable, I guess. So yeah, it makes sense that they would want to work with you in the audition. But this wasn't all you had to do. You had to also do your music theory and piano placement examinations. Now I was super new to music theory. Like I had just started taking it my senior year, so I was only doing it for like a couple of months before this, and I had never had a piano lesson, so I was like very, very new, and I just thought they would put me in like the super basic beginner classes, but no, they had to test you to make sure that I stunk at both of those things. I remember the theory professor, she asked me to sing Happy Birthday, and I mean, I thought this was gonna be easy, but I totally screwed it up. Happy birthday to you. Wait a minute, Yeah, I've been singing Happy Birthday since I was like 2, and apparently I don't know how to do it. And then we got to the piano placement, and the professor made me like sight read this random thing, and dude, I just completely crashed and burned. Like, I had never sight read anything on piano, like trying to do the treble and bass clef at the same time. It just blew my mind. And then she just kept asking like if I could play anything, and I said no at first, but like she kept insisting, so I ended up saying like, yeah, I could probably like play my marimba solo on the piano, although it's weird. And bro, she literally made me play through the entirety of the solo on the piano, just plucking away with 2 fingers. Yeah, so that part of the audition really sucked, but then they sent me into a room and they told me I got into the school. Like, I was in the program, and I wasn't expecting to find out then and there, but hey, I'll take it. They also recommended that I start taking private lessons for piano because I didn't know how to play it, and I realize now that that was like a very dumb suggestion, right? I'm about to pay like thousands of dollars to go to the school, but it's your guys' job to teach me how to play these secondary instruments. I'm really glad I didn't listen. But well, I got in. 1 school down, 3 more to go. The next audition was at William Paterson with Peyton McDonald, and there were actually a few other kids there at the same day auditioning with me that time. And I remember we were like in line to go, and you could like hear the other people auditioning in the room. And dude, the kid that went in before me just totally butchered everything. So then I went in and did my audition and just totally crushed it, and I probably looked even better after going after that one kid that didn't know what the heck he was doing. And yeah, Peyton was also very nice, gave me some good feedback as well. And yeah, this time I didn't have to like embarrass myself on the piano or anything. I don't know, Westchester was the only school that ended up doing that, just forcing me to play an instrument I didn't know how to. Everyone else just put me in the basic beginner piano and theory classes. And I didn't find out if I got in right away. I actually had to go home and wait a couple of weeks, but I did get the call and I got into that school too. So then I was off to Rutgers University to audition for Shi Wu and Joseph Tompkins. Now keep in mind for these auditions, like I prepared all these solos and all this stuff, but you don't actually play through the entirety of all of the solos. Usually they'll just have you play the beginning for like maybe a minute, and then they'll stop you because it's like, all right, we get the picture, we know how good you are at that, and go to the next thing. So yeah, that's what was happening the whole time. And like I said, the professors, they would usually work with me a little bit after each of the solos, like do some like one-on-one work and then play the next thing. But Rutgers, it was not like that. I just got up and played, and they said, okay, great, next thing.
Next. Next. Next.
Yeah, honestly, this was like kind of a weird experience. Like, I left that audition like kind of not knowing what they thought of me. Like, did they think I was good? Like, I don't know. They didn't work with me at all or say anything. Rutgers was also the only school that had like a formal interview with all the people. Like, I went into this room. Yeah, they just like asked me a bunch of questions. And yeah, I was not ready for this at all.
The Industrial Revolution changed the face of the modern novel forever. Discuss, citing specific examples.
I honestly don't remember what the questions were or what my answers were. This was like 18 years ago. But I do remember leaving that interview room and just feeling like I totally blew it. Like, my answers really stunk. And even though the audition was kind of weird and my interview was god-awful, I still somehow managed to get on a waiting list. Yeah, that basically means you're not cut. Like, they still kind of liked you, but they liked other people more. So they have to ask those people first if they want to go to the school, and you wait to hear if they say yes or no, and then maybe they'll get down the list to you. So yeah, didn't get in right away, so we're like 2.5 out of 3 so far. Still pretty good though. Now we're finally at the last audition at Rowan University with Dean Witten. This audition went really, really well, and just like the first 2 auditions, Dean actually like took some time to work with me and, you know, give me some coaching during the audition, and he actually let me play through the entirety of the timpani solo, which was really, really awesome. Cause yeah, like I worked on the the whole solo for all this stuff, like even though you only play the beginning for everybody. So yeah, it was nice to actually play the ending for somebody. Now the thing with percussion auditions just in general is, you know, if you're playing any other instrument, you bring your instrument and play your instrument. But percussion, I mean, you're not gonna bring like a marimba and a set of timpani. Some people brought snare drums. I mean, I didn't. Like, you just go in and you play on whatever they have, and it's really not that bad playing on like a unfamiliar snare or marimba. But timpani, oh my goodness, dude. Every set of timpani, the pedals for the tuning are just totally different most of the time. Like, some of them you have to push the pedal forward to raise the pitch, some you push it down, some you have like a locking mechanism, and all of them just have like a different feel to them. It depends on like how new the head is and how new the drums are. Like, every pedal is different. There is no muscle memory involved in playing a new set of timpani. You just got to kind of figure it out. But fortunately for me, like I said at the beginning, I took lessons at Rowan, so I was actually very familiar with the set of timpani that I had to do the audition on. So yeah, totally crushed that one. Did a great job. And not only did I get accepted into Rowan, I also got a 50% tuition scholarship to go there. So yeah, because of the scholarship, the choice was pretty obvious. I decided to go to Rowan. So yep, I filled out all the Rowan paperwork and scholarship stuff and was getting ready to attend there next fall. A couple weeks after that, Rutgers, they called me back saying that I got accepted. I guess they got down to me on their waiting list, but well, a little too late for that because I already signed everything to go to this other school. But I was super excited that I did end up getting into all 4 of the schools I auditioned for. 100% success rate. You love to see it. Compose a comment if you have an interesting audition story. Click on this video here for more audition related content, and have a good morning.